Now, this terminology, principle of one, you would be hearing it a lot in SAP S/4HANA, and when you'll be going through the simplifications of S/4HANA. Okay, in simplification of S/4HANA, SAP would be saying that we have done this change because of the principle of one, right? Now, generally what happens that when we understand the simplification, we always understand simplification for end user, simplification for customers, simplification for your business. But there are also simplification. When SAP talks about the principle of one, they are talking about simplification, which is for SAP as a software. Right. So when they are moving to S/4HANA, they did not only simplify for the business, they also want to simplify their product also. So this simplification, we have principle of one called, that is SAP product simplification. They are simplifying the product, where they would be having a multiple things. If you have a business process, to run a business process, you have multiple ways to do it. The first way is you can do, let's say, if you give example, order to cash. You can do it in ECC by using a customer. Or the second way is order to cash. You can also do with customer plus BP approach. Okay. And the same way, there can be another business process, which I can give you example. The credit management in ECC, you can manage through the SD object, or you can also do the credit management through FSCM in ECC. The different processes are available, and that is not only for this, that would be for multiple places at the multiple points. You will see that the same thing you can do in SAP, and the different ways are available, right? That's where SAP thought about when we are going to S/4HANA, we need to also simplify the product. So when the principle of one comes, that is basically the simplification that basically talks about the simplification of SAP as a product. So same thing happened with the customer and business partner. You can also adopt this customer plus BP approach in ECC. It's very much available. But most of the business, they stick to the customers, they stick to the vendor, they don't adopt to the BP. Okay. Now, some people can adopt to the BP. They would be maintaining to the BP screens. So BP screens would be additional transaction code, additional program link, additional screens, and customer itself will be having some different 12 to 15 transaction to maintain the customer data, to create the customer data, and to change the customer data, right? So with that approach, what happened that SAP range become wider. If they want to bring any functionality change in the customer, let's say in a screen, they want to add a new field, they need to do it in the different screens of the customers, and then they need to also manage those changes in the business partner also. So multiple places they need to do the changes, and that took longer time to bring the changes on SAP system. So that's where SAP thought about that whatever the functionalities are there, where we have a 2 different functionality or 3 different functionalities, we would be obsoleting some functionality with the principle of one, that there should be only single functionality which should be adopted. So SAP has tried to check that which functionality will be a future-oriented functionality, which has a more function features. That functionality has been selected, and those functionality has been called as a the other functionality has been obsoleted, and the reason has been given as a principle of one. So in S/4HANA, if you will see, we don't have this approach. Only with customer creation, you cannot create your order to cash. Only with vendor creation, you cannot run your order to cash. If you are using your SD object for the credit management, that is not available. We need to do FSCM for the credit management. There are much more other things are also there. A lot of other things are there. Repeat processing with the SD object is not available. You need to go with the settlement management. In ECC also, both can be used, settlement management or the ECC object for the SD object for the rebate. But SAP has changed it. With the principle of one, they said it only the settlement management. So that is principle of one. So whenever you hear a principle of one, that means the principle of one means your simplification for SAP product, where the multiple processes, functions are there, and SAP has marked few of them as redundant, and they are proceeding ahead with the best ones.